I feel very blessed for what I have now, coming from a small town and having the opportunities I have now to play in the NBA, play at the highest level in a sport. It's amazing. Farnham is a very small town. You know, there's not a lot of traffic, not a lot of commotion. It's very, very quiet. You know, very green, very similar to here in Portland. There's a lot of things which are very, very similar and remind me of home here. I started off playing with a lot of friends from my area growing up, and they all went off and started doing other things. They started to get, you know, drugs, alcohol, all these things that kids when you're 16, 17, 18, you're just trying, you're just starting. But I wasn't like that. I didn't want that. I knew what I wanted. I was up at the park playing basketball by myself, you know. I was always with them, normally. There's like 3 or 4 of us was always up the park playing, and little by little each week there'd be one that's gone, another one that's gone, another one's gone, until at the end of the day it was just me up there by myself just shooting. And I always knew that's something that I wanted, and you know, I'd always just challenge myself in that way. You know, I was a 19-year-old kid who had only been playing basketball for 2 years and just got drafted into the NBA. I mean, it's kind of absurd that I even got drafted in the first place, you know. And I got drafted back in 2006. So, you know, it's been a real long time coming, but I feel like I've done the hard work to finally get here. You know, I paid my dues to finally get here. I'm real happy to be here, really, really happy. My dad was ecstatic that I had finally signed in the NBA. He had been with me through the journey, through the 6, 7 years. You know, he came to New York, he was in the draft with me. He was, you know, me, my mum and the coach. We was all there, you know, and he knew it was my dream, and he was just ecstatic that I finally reached that point. I know my dad is proud of me. You know, he's always wanted the best for me. He's my #1 fan. He would travel all the time to come to all my games. My family, they come out to each place I'm at 4, 5, 6 times a year. So we still have a really close relationship. I've always wanted to be in the NBA from the day that I got drafted, and here I am now. You know, I think I've done what I've needed to do to finally get here. I'm just ready to work. I'm ready to work and ready to challenge myself against these guys. I'm a player that likes to be on the court. I'm a player that likes to be in the gym, in the weight room, you know, in this environment pretty much all the time. So I'm always working on my game, trying to get better. And I know there's other people doing exactly the same as me, trying to get better. You know, you see it on this team as well. There's a lot of players that are in the gym all the time. But I'm going to be one of them players as well. I'm going to be one of them players who's just willing to do what it takes to get better. I'm a very intense player. I like to play with a lot of energy. I like to do all the dirty things. I like to, you know, try and get as many rebounds as I can, offensively, defensively, steals. You know, I try to be a high energetic player. When it comes to sports, I'm a really competitive person, so I've always had that drive in me. One thing I live by is that you don't get any success unless you work hard. On the court, it's time to go to work. At the end of the day, I'm there to do a job, and I'm going to do that job.